Hello everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new in-shop video in which we're going to talk about the Super Conqueror, which is available in the shop in the crate forms, and you need 30 of them if you're unlucky, and you just need one crate with 4% chances of dropping the tank in order for you to get lucky and acquire that super tank. Now, is it worth it to gamble on the tank? If you have money, yes. If you don't, no. That's as simple as that. But let's jump into the characteristics. I want to talk about the armor profile, but that's probably what I'm going to finish with, because first we need to focus on the main weakness on this tank, which is the gun. I'm going to tell you why. If you look at the average penetration and average damage, you see that the tank is clearly well performing, especially regarding its HE shells with 110mm of penetration, and also its 10 degrees of gun depression. But the main problem is not here. The main problem is the aiming time of 4.1 seconds combined with the gun dispersion at 0.32. I have 0.32 simply because I'm using the refined gun, but if I put, for example, the vertical stabilizer, I can climb this up to more than 0.35, nearly 0.36, which is quite a lot. That's why I'm playing with the refined gun, by the way. But yeah, that's the main problem, the accuracy of the tank. With this one, you need to fully aim before shooting or being lucky. But for the rest, it's a really good gun. If, for example, the RNG is with you in a game, you will have tremendously high damage, because 2.8k damage per minute for a tier 10 heavy tank is huge. Now, for the turret, the main thing about the turret is probably its armor, but I told you we will talk about that later, so let's focus more on the view range and the turret turn rate. The view range is a little bit underperforming if you regard, for example, all the other tier 10 heavy tanks, simply because, as you can see, the tank has spaced armor everywhere, and probably that Wargaming wanted to grant you this spaced armor, but the cons of having it is probably lowering the view range. And that's exactly what they did, and I think it's a good idea from them, because it means this tank is a little bit dependent on its medium and light in order to spot, except if you play it extremely aggressively, which you can regarding the armor, but we will talk about that later. Now for the turret turn rate, it's nearly 40 degrees per second, which is in the norm. Everything is fine. For the mobility, I know when the tank was in tests, it was a weakness because the tank was really slow. But personally, I don't think the tank is that slow. It's not the best in terms of speed, etc., but it does the job. Of course, you are not gonna take advanced position before mediums like some heavy tanks can do, but at least you will not arrive last like a mouse or an E100, for example. So yeah, for me the mobility is average, but it's enough for this tank. Now, for the turn rate of the hull, it's a little bit underperforming with 33 degrees per second. That's it for the Super Conqueror. Maybe before jumping into the armor, I'm gonna show you the equipment as I'm in it right now. So maybe for the ammunition, you don't have a lot of ammunition regarding your reload, which is 8.5 seconds. So be aware that you need to choose them wisely. Personally, I go for 6 HE, 12 PCRs, and 22 AP, but you can do as you wish. But remember that having all the 3 types of shells is really important if you want to perform well on the battlefield. Now, for the equipments, I first go for the gun rammer because my tank already has a good penetration. After, I go for the enhanced gun line drive to reduce my aiming time, which is a little bit horrible. And finally, the refined gun to lower the gun dispersion, which is too high on this tank if you're not using this refined gun equipment. After, I go for the defense system because I'm not gonna ram anybody because I am really slow. After, the enhanced armor to improve my armor, which is already broken on the tank, and the toolbox because the enhanced track is literally useless. Now, improved optics to improve a little bit my view range, because I told you that we had a problem of view range, and also because I don't need the camo net. After, the engine accelerator, because overall my mobility is average, so why not make it a little bit better by putting the engine accelerator, literally. And finally, high-end consumables, simply because you have a fast reload. So when you're using high-end consumables, you will be able to use adrenaline for a longer period of time, which makes you be able to shoot more while using adrenaline than if you used the consumable delivery system. But it all depends on your playstyle. I mean, both of them are great on this tank, but I would rather go for the high-end consumable. So that's it for my equipment. Now let's talk a little bit about the armor profile. So, if we take a look at the armor profile, as you can see, the tank has spaced armor pretty much everywhere at the front. You have it on the turret cheeks, you have it at the top of the hull armor, and you have it also on the weak spot with that horizontal bar. No, vertical bar, sorry, but I don't know what it is. I mean, I know in French, but not in English. So yeah, overall, the tank is quite armored. If we take a look at the armor profile, as you can see, it goes really high in terms of millimeters. It's nearly impossible to go through its turret or even the top of its hull. So the only weak spot is probably the lower part of the hull, but also this part here. Oh no, never mind. It was a weak spot on World of Tank PC, but it's not a weak spot here. No, sorry. No, this part and this part. The best to penetrate is actually this one, because here, as you can see, you still need to have a lot of millimeters in order for you to be able to penetrate. But you can do it, especially if you're a tank destroyer. Now, if you take the tank on the sides, or even if you try to side scrape a little bit, as you can see, it still have quite a lot of armor. And that's what makes it really a great tank. Simply the fact that your armor profile is broken as hell, and that's what will allow you to bounce shots not a lot of heavies will be able to bounce, and that's what I love about the tank. And if you use all your 10 degrees of gun depression, it becomes even harder for your enemies to penetrate if you show only your turret, simply because from there they can't see your weak spot on the turret, which makes you one of the strongest, if not the strongest tank in all down of this goddamn game. So yeah, the armor profile is simply broken. This tank is great if you manage to put it in all down. I simply love it, and to me it's probably becoming one of my favorite heavies of all time. For the rest of the armor profile, as you can see, it's quite low, but it's understandable simply because not a single tank at tier 10 has strong sides, except the Ice 4, of course, because the Ice 4 is Russian. But for the rest, yeah, it's quite paper. That's why with this tank you need to stay in front of your opponents all the time, and if you can, hide your lower part of the hull. Now let's try the tank in a live battle, just for me to be able to show you how you want to play it. Most of the time, all you need to do is finding a position from which you can hide your lower plate and only show your turret. It should do the trick, and that's why to me this tank is really newbie friendly. Thanks to its armor, you will be able to bounce a lot of shots and not being punished too much for your mistakes. So here we go, Mayan Ruins, not the best map to show you the all down, but I think I could manage to play it out pretty correctly if my team follows me on the left, and as the Foch is telling them to go on the left, maybe they will follow. So as you can see, yeah, I told you about the mobility. It's not the best mobility, but not the worst either. I mean, look at this. It's pretty fine from all the tanks. Now, I wanted to compare me, but I'm not going to compare me with the VK72 because it's logic that I go faster than him. So yeah, overall, the mobility is good. It's not the worst. And maybe we didn't talk about the legendary camo, but I love it. Okay, here we go. First HE, boom! Always use your HE if you can. We are gonna have some fun on that bat chat once more. Come on, come on, come on. Maybe I dropped adrenaline way too soon. Yeah, I dropped adrenaline too soon. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem simply because we can have some fun on that bat chat. I'm probably gonna take some shots, but it's not a problem. Come on, yeah. Okay. I need to drop down. Okay, we're gonna kill the bat chat. No, we're not gonna kill the bat chat, but we're gonna focus on the I-7. We can focus on the I-7. Unfortunately, we can penetrate. I thought I could penetrate the I-7S with some HEs, but it seems like it's not the case. So unfortunately, we are gonna focus on its tracks to try to immobilize the guy. Oh, took some shots here. Okay, the VK doesn't want to bother with me simply because he knows that I'm not an easy target. Okay, VK is probably gonna reload, so I'm gonna focus on that T-54. Yeah, we went for first shot. Okay. For the moment, we are... no, we're not good. We're definitely not good. Come on. I'm probably gonna die in the process here. Okay, for the moment, I'm fine. As you can see, the armor! The armor, not a lot of tank, allows you to simply bounce everything the way I am, actually. We have the VK with us. Okay, it seems like we have a really, really great team. Thank you, VK, for taking risks for me. Okay, second shot in a wreck. And it feels like I lose a lot my pilot on this one. I don't really know why. I couldn't tell you why, especially. But yeah, it's that's how it is, I guess. Okay, 3. Okay, VK shot. No problem. We're gonna go for a gold shell simply because I don't want to fuck this up. And we managed to kill it. Now we have to deal with the Projecto T62A. I'm probably gonna be able to use again adrenaline and some HE. Why not, after all? But I wanna make sure that I stay in all down as much as possible. VK is gonna come, destroy the T62A. I go in, and I'm gonna die in the process. Yeah. Okay, I died in the process, but as you can see, we tried some all down. It did not work out in the end simply because I tried to play way too aggressively, maybe on the Projectile, because I really wanted to get my shots. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna win anyway. So overall, I don't know if you can see the input select thing, but that's my cat that is playing with nearly everything. But overall, yeah, that's how you want to play your tank. As you can see, it's quite simple. It allows you to do really, really great things. So yeah, maybe, you know what, I'm gonna do an ace tanker and probably comment on ace tanker as well, so you see how the tank performs when you are in a great matchup. So for this ace tanker, it's quite simple. Same as always, you need to find a position from which you show your turret only. That's why I don't really try to go on the medium side. I would rather try something sneaky. If you take a look at the team compose, you see that both teams are composed with a lot of mediums and in general tanks that have a good mobility, which is not my case. That's why I don't want to go on the medium side, because they're all gonna be there. I would rather play it sneaky in order for me to be able to take an all down position from their back in order to have a crossfire. My team from the front and me from the rear. And we're gonna try something out here pretty quickly. We went for, we're gonna go for some shots here. We go for an HE straight into the Vickers. Quite a lucky shot regarding the fact that, as I told you, the gun dispersion and the aiming time of the tank are really, really poor. But for the moment, nobody actually spots me. But it's gonna change right now. Derp from the heavy 1A3. And we were lucky that the guy didn't try and hash, because on the side of my turret, an hash can easily penetrate, because I think it has more than 200 millimeters of penetration. So clearly not a problem to penetrate that. Here, I don't want to mess up, so I went for an APCR. We have to deal with the heavy, and here, look at that, guys. Just look at this armor profile. We bounced an heavy 1A3 on the hull. How many tanks, heavy tanks at tier 10, can brag about being able to do that? Not a single one of them, except maybe the E100 and the mouse. So yeah, it's a tank that has a crazy armor. So yeah, of course it's worth it. The tank is simply amazing, and I'm glad actually that Wargaming did not implement the tank as a tech tree tank, because if they did, they would have simply nerfed the tank. It's impossible for you to get this tank for free. I mean, it would broke the game, because it's too good. It's really, really too good. That's why it's in crates, and it's probably gonna be the same as the T22. You are never gonna see the Super Conqueror in direct purchase, except maybe if they nerf it, simply because it's a collectible, and as you all know, collectibles can be actually nerf. I don't think they will do it anyway, but it's a possibility that Wargaming has. So now, how we are playing right now. We were in the back, dealing with the heavy 1A3 and the T30, but now we need to help our team. We don't have too much, nah, literally we don't have too much HPs, so I don't really want to take too many risks. I took a shot here and tried to hide, probably the Vickers CR in the back, trying some sneaky shots from a bush, but I don't want to waste my shells. Even if I think I have enough shells to finish the game here, I still don't want to mess this up, because you don't carry a lot of ammunitions. So instead of rushing in like a retard, I'm probably gonna try some sneaky tactic, as I don't have that much HPs. I'm just gonna go in the back, trying to circle, maybe taking care of both the T-57 heavies, starting with the one that is a one-shot to me. So we go for an APCR just to be sure that my shot is actually going to penetrate, because I don't want to mess this up. We kill the guy. Now it's a 4 versus 3 situation, but I don't want to push straight on the T-57 heavy, simply because if I do that, there is probably both the mediums in the back waiting for me to do this mistake, because they are trying to help the T-57 heavy, which is actively spotting for them. So instead, I try to circle my way to the enemies, and you're gonna see that it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off with a little bit of luck right now. So here there is the Vickers CR, which spotted us, and the T-54 E1. So we need to be careful. We are a 2-shot for him. We go for a first shot, and the guy killed himself by ramming a Super Conqueror. If you want a quick tip, never try to ram a Super Conqueror, because if you do, you are probably going to be the one taking the damage and not the Super Conqueror, simply because this tank is heavy as hell. Now, let's deal with the T-57 heavy. We try an all-down position. I don't think that from here the Vickers CR can do anything, and as my team is pushing the T-57, I'm expecting the Vickers to change his position, which allows me to sneak an HE shell on the side of the T-57 heavy, because the side armor of the T-57 heavy allows me to actually penetrate. I went for a second HE in the back, just to be sure that it's not gonna be a non-penetrating shell, and it worked. It worked because we killed the guy. We are at 5 kills, we have to deal with Vickers, and we have a T-110E3 that is nearly full life. But in this kind of situation, against a light tank, I will not count on the T-110E3. It's definitely not the tank of the situation. If there is someone that has to deal with the Vickers, it's probably me, because I have a turret and the better mobility than this tier 10 American tank destroyer. And as you can see, the Vickers is having some fun on the T-110E3, because it's impossible for the T-110E3 with its mobility to do anything. So it's my job, and that's why I want to play it sneaky. We need to take it from 2 different sides in order for us to lock it on the hill. If we lock the guy, it's impossible for him to ram, to circle, or to turn around, to take another position, to escape, you know. So we just need to kill the boy and to circle him. Here he knows he's locked. He has to deal with the T-110E3, but the T-110E3 sees him. So the Vickers try the shot. We use our great gun depression. I try a sneaky shot, and lucky me that it went through. I think I should have not be able to penetrate, but it worked, allowing us to get our pool medal and an ace tanker. Also, this tank earns a lot of credits because it has the same credit coefficient as a premium, which is a nice add to this tank. Hope you enjoyed the review. If it's the case, leave a like and subscribe, and see you soon.